I got to say something about this Giants free agency debacle and how we're literally without a quarterback. At least we don't have our quarterback of the future. And the Giants are playing happy grab ass with players like fucking Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. That shouldn't have been the case. We should have already been going into this offseason knowing for a fact that we had the quarterback in mind that we were going to be drafting, and nothing was going to be able to change that because we had the number 1 overall pick. But for whatever fucking reason, we decided that we needed to beat the Colts in the later part of this last season to do what? Essentially, we just slit our own wrists, and now we're sitting in a pool of blood in the fucking offseason, and there's nothing we can do about it. See, this regime, and this is why I've been a very optimistic Giants fan my whole life. But this last regime, especially these last 2 years, I've hit a breaking point. I can't blindly cheer on these guys in the offseason. I'm not actively rooting for the Giants to fail. I'm just actively expecting them to fail. There's a difference. The Giants have no sense of urgency or a game plan. I feel like they count their eggs before they hatch. Look, when we went out into this offseason, like I said, we wounded ourselves. Now we're at the 3rd pick. Probably not going to be able to get the quarterback that we want because we're not able to trade up to the number 1 overall picks. It seems like the Titans are pretty set on Cameron Ward. So what do the Giants do? They pivot. We're going to go get Matthew Stafford. We're going to trade all this draft capital. We're going to give him this massive contract. Maybe we draft a quarterback in the later rounds of the draft and as a developmental piece. But no. You see, and this is why I'm calling the Giants the biggest cucks in the NFL, because all of these free agency quarterbacks, they don't give a shit about the Giants. All they're doing is using the Giants as leverage to get more money with other teams. Matthew Stafford using it to get more money with the Rams. Aaron Rodgers, who knows where the fuck that dude is? And if you guys watched my last video, you know I'm not even a fan of Aaron Rodgers. I think he's a cancer to the locker room. Look at what he's doing with as just this media. He's not even on the team. I haven't even heard him come out and talk publicly about any of this, and he's already causing problems. So the Giants pivot from having the number 1 overall pick, drafting their guy, to we can't do that now. We're gonna go and we're gonna get a proven veteran quarterback, and we're gonna trade assets for him, give him a massive extension, maybe bring in someone in the draft and to learn under, for the next few years. That didn't happen with Matthew Stafford. And then, the Matthew Stafford thing didn't work out. Now we're pivoting to Rodgers. Well, Rodgers obviously isn't working out. No, he's trying to get contract, or at least he was trying to get contracts with the Vikings. And it looks like the Vikings are probably smarter than the Giants and avoiding him like the plague. So they're out on Rodgers. Rodgers still isn't signing with the Giants. And since Rodgers didn't really show a whole lot of interest in the Giants, now the Giants are pivoting to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, obviously trying to use the Giants as leverage with a contract with the Steelers. There's no planning going into the offseason about, hey, this is plan A, B, C, D. It's just like, I feel like everything's a panic response. Everything is just like hungry hippos just fucking smashing your button until hopefully something fucking works out. But it never seems to work out with the Giants, and especially not with this regime. That first year was an anomaly. That was purely luck that we ended up making it that far and winning a playoff game, until we were proven to be frauds in the divisional round against the, now reigning Super Bowl champs in the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't like it, but it is what it is. The Giants, I have no faith that they're going to be able to turn any of this shit around. They're erratic. I don't trust their plan in this going into the offseason. I had some semblance of hope that they were purposefully losing to get their quarterback in here that would be able to fulfill their vision. But they betrayed themselves beating the Colts. Now it seemed like they had everything set up for Matthew Stafford. That didn't work out. It's just the rug is getting pulled out from the Giants fans, the organization, and I'm sick of it. Now, here's the thing too. A lot of people are upset about the signing of Jameis Winston. I actually like the signing of Jameis Winston. I think that if you're going to be drafting a quarterback in the first round as high as we are drafting, I think somebody like Jameis is probably the only veteran quarterback out there on the market that I would feel comfortable having in the locker room as a mentor to a young player. A guy that can come in and play the first 5-6 weeks, more or less, who knows. But to be able to be there and be a guide for the young players coming in. I don't feel that way towards Rodgers. I don't feel that way towards Russell Wilson. Seems like those two always seem to have issues with former teammates, current teammates. And I didn't want any part of that. So I'm not even mad that we didn't get someone, or that we didn't get Rodgers, or that we didn't get Russell Wilson. I'm happy with Winston. But I don't feel like we're going to be able to get our quarterback in the draft now because of what we did against the Colts. So it's just a fucking mess, man. And look, it's an unfortunate situation to be in. Like, you know, the Giants, this free agency, quarterback's one thing, but bringing in guys like James Hudson, paying him $11 million for 2 years, and you take a look at this guy's PFF grade, and look, if you're bringing him in here to be the swing tackle, you might as well have just kept Evan Neal as the swing tackle, because this is not an upgrade. This is a legit downgrade. If you go and talk to Browns fans, I happen to know several, they're happy to get rid of him. They would have paid for his plane ticket to come to New York. I don't know what we're doing. It seems like we're bringing in a lot of just camp bodies, but not impact players. If you guys want to talk about Paulson Adebo, he's a decent number 2 cornerback. I don't believe he's a number 1 cornerback. If you look at his PFF grades, and I know PFF isn't everything, but I don't trust the decisions that the Giants make. This is granted, he's a 25-year-old player, he's a young guy, but he's coming off a season where he only played 6 or 7 weeks, and he's coming off of a broken femur. So do we even have any idea that this guy's going to be even ready to play at the start of the season? And this secondary is not just one, Paulson Adebo away from becoming what we need it to be. Does signing Paulson Adebo, does that help our run defense? Now, I like the signing of Javon Holland. Javon Holland is actually a guy that I really liked coming out of Oregon. What was it? 5 years ago at this point. I really thought that he was a solid safety, and guess what? I wanted to draft him and pair him with Xavier McKinney. And we're comfortable paying him roughly the same amount that McKinney wanted. But it's like you don't want to pay our homegrown guys, but you're happy to go and suffer through a season, get proven wrong. Oh, duh, I should have fucking signed our best secondary player. Well, I'll go get fucking great value version of McKinney. And that's who he really is. He's an undisciplined player. He's talented, but he needs to work on some things. And I don't think that he was worth the contract that we paid him. And the Giants at this point, honestly, players are just looking at us for a payday. They're either using us for leverage with other teams, or they're using us because they know we're fucking desperate, and this regime will literally fucking pay anything just to get a semblance of progress. Now, like I said, I like the Jameis Winston signing. I think that he's a solid veteran quarterback that can come in and be a mentor to a young player. All of these other moves, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. And maybe it is just a bad free agency. Maybe there just aren't a lot of options out there, and I know that's probably most likely the case. But that's not something you control. You gotta work with what you're dealt. And it seems like the Giants are so laser focused on one thing, and they'll be on that one thing for so long that they'll neglect everything else on the roster. I'm tired of fucking worried about our defense. I don't give a shit about our fucking defense. What about our offense? Our defense is actually not too bad if our offense isn't just going 3 and out fucking 5 times in a row, and our defense is getting worn out and then finally just gives up because you're gassed. It's pathetic. And going into this draft, I did have a semblance of hope. Like I said, when we had the number 1 overall pick, but we don't have that anymore. We don't have that luxury anymore. We don't have a trade partner anymore. The Titans are pretty set on drafting Cam Ward. And if there was a quarterback in this draft that I was going to take with a top, 10 pick, it would have been Cam Ward. I don't have anything necessarily against Shedeur Sanders, but I just don't see him as a top 10, top 15 prospect. I think he's kind of a more of a, middle to, end of the first round kind of player. It's unfortunate that we're in this situation and not anything that we can do about it as fans, but I just want people to start holding this team accountable. Start being a little bit more skeptical about the moves that they make. Start questioning the things that they do. Don't just be like, oh, the Giants are so back. We just signed this player and that player and we're doing this and we're doing that. It's the same song and dance every fucking season. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being fucking fooled and going into a season with relatively high hopes, because every season's a new season and anything could happen. But with the Giants, we just every season our grave is getting deeper and deeper. And we're already at 6 feet. And if we go out into this season and things don't go our way, this regime's getting buried. And that's just, it is what it is. People can criticize my opinions. They can criticize Giants fans' opinions that make content for this team or talk about this team. But at the end of the day, I've seen content creators on YouTube predict player success and come up with scenarios and players to go after, players to draft that end up working out way more frequently than the people that are so-called experts and that are getting paid multiple millions of dollars a year that are supposed to be doing this professionally. It's really not fucking hard. And people act like you need to have some kind of fucking doctorate to be able to evaluate talent, to be able to build an NFL roster, to be able to coach a winning team. It's really fucking simple. But people like to fucking gatekeep and be like, oh, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're just that. Don't let anybody fucking tell you that you can't have an opinion about your team. You can't criticize moves that are being made because you're somehow not qualified. That's not how this shit works. I guarantee you there's several fucking content creators that if I were to get 5 or 6 of them and we all went to the Giants, I guarantee you that team would be Super Bowl contender. And I'm not, this isn't even hyperbole. We would be Super Bowl contenders in 3 years. If some of these guys on this platform were able to go into that building and make some decisions. Because it honestly looks like, from the outside looking in, it looks like a toddler's running the show. And we got a glimpse into what the ongoings on last year in Hard Knocks. Have you seen that there's literally no NFL offseason Hard Knocks this year? Or I don't even think there's really any NFL Hard Knocks this year. I mean, there might be in-season stuff. I don't fucking know. But there's no offseason Hard Knocks. And why is that? Because the Giants literally fucking killed it. 1 year, the first year ever there was going to be an offseason Hard Knocks. The Giants had the privilege and the honor of being that first team, and they blew it. Once people saw how the sausage was made, I lost my appetite. Anyway, this video is already getting too long. Appreciate you guys. This is rambling videos, like always. I'm just a passionate Giants fan that just likes to scream into the void. So if you guys feel the same, feel free to go down below and leave me a comment letting me know what your frustrations are. Because I know I can't be the only one. But until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.